and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
It is a gorgeous Wednesday afternoon in New York City, and it's time for baseball as Kia Motors presents the Wednesday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the Cleveland Indians in the final game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Everything's been going great for the Yankees. They've won 4 in a row, but today a bit of bad news as CC Sabathia was put on the 15-day DL. We'll let Yankee manager Joe Girardi explain.
CC said he felt a little tug in his abductor muscle on Sunday in the 4th inning, but he did not inform us until after his bullpen yesterday. So he went and had an MRI, has a grade 1 strain. We're going to play the safe route. We're going to DL him and plan on starting Freddie on Friday unless something was to happen in the next 2 days where I need him.
Well, that's the news on CC. Today's starters, it's brought to you by the New York Lottery. Ubaldo Jimenez will go for the Indians 7-5, 4.59. Andy Pettitte for the Yankees 3-3 with a 3.29. Paul, Ubaldo Jimenez in June has pitched very, very well.
Well, he was brought up here from Colorado. I mean, he's an all-star caliber pitcher. Actually, started an all-star. Awkward delivery, good fastball, great breaking ball, and a good split finger. And you're right, Michael. In June, he's been the Indians' best pitcher by far.
Well, he's going to try to avoid a sweep for the Indians. The Yankees, though, would love to sweep because that would continue an incredible June for the Bombers. When we come back, Paul will try to explain why they played so well this month next on Yes. He's 18-5. They've scored 5 runs a game. The batting average isn't that high, but they do have 40 home runs. And pitching, 2.65 ERA. They've gained 5.5 games in the AL East standings this month. So all those numbers are good. That's Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. And the question is, why are they playing so well?
Well, they're winning games, and I think they're in a habit of winning games. And lately, they've been driving in runners from scoring positions. It's not only been the home run. I mean, they've got Robbie Cano. It's had a great month. Probably going to be player of the month in June. Nick Swisher's had a great month. The starting pitching's been good, and the bullpen's been great. So if you add all those things together, you're 18-5 so far.
You are 18-5. A couple more days in the month of June, so they can even make better music than that. When we come back, the Yankees will try to sweep the Indians. Lineups, first pitch, baseball coming up next, right here on the Yes Network. All on Yes is brought to you in part by Domino's. Order a handmade inspired pizza at Domino's.com and see the progress of your order in real time with Domino's Tracker. By the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer. Why just go when you can go pro? And by 5 Hour Energy. You got to get stuff done. Beautiful day here at the stadium. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup. The center fielder is Michael Brantley. He's going to lead off. Batting second and playing shortstop as Drupal Cabrera. Jason Kipnis at second base will hit third. Cleaning up third baseman Jose Lopez. He had a home run in the ninth inning yesterday. Carlos Santana will DH. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing left field, Shelley Duncan. Casey Kochman at first base will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the catcher Lou Marson. And playing right field and batting ninth is Aaron Cunningham. So Manny Acta is trying to get the final game of this 3-game set. He's already lost 2 straight series on this road trip. 2 out of 3 of the Astros and the first 2 here to the Yankees. Let's take a look at the numbers on Andrew Eugene Pettit. 8 starts. This is his 9th. 3-3, 3.29. 46 hits in 54 and 2/3 innings. Not too many walks, 52 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .228 against him. Let's take a look at the McDonald's pitcher scouting report for your old buddy, Andy Pettit.
Stay close attention here, Michael. You will be quizzed. Here comes the sun. He's 9-1 with a 2.8 in his last 16 start in-day games. Can't touch his 45 out of his 52 strikeouts of the season have come on swinging strikes, which means he gets ahead and then they swing out of the zone. And just the 2 of us. Among active pitchers, he ranks second in wins, starts, and strikeouts. Jamie Moyer, who's, 64? Leads on all the categories. Now, what's the theme, Michael? Let me see the...
Let's see. It's songs. Here Comes the Sun. Right. Can't Touch This, and just the 2 of us.
I made them so easy.
Right.
That I want an artist. I want an artist for every one of my scouting reports. For
Here
Pettit
Comes the Sun is the Beatles.
All right.
Can't Touch This is MC Hammer.
2 for 2.
Just the 2 of us. James Ingram?
Nope, but it was close. Grover Washington Jr.
Oh.
Couple remakes, but 2 for 3 is good. Just wait till next inning. You got another one.
Who did those scouting reports for you?
Well, who do you think did them?
You did them?
Absolutely.
I'm doubting that. All right, we're ready for baseball on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Andy Pettit's ready, Michael Brantley's ready, and let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is outside, and we are underway.
Andy Eugene, I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah.
I've known the guy for 20 years. I didn't even know.
Andrew Eugene, the 1-0. There's a strike.
What a day, Michael. Look at this.
You want to play today, don't you?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You see, you could really neutralize the Indians, take away a lot of their hitters when you put a left-hander on the mound.
Talking about the strikeouts, and that's the strikeout swinging. A lot of... It's kind of a weird scouting report, but they're swinging strikes because that breaking ball has been so good since he's been back.
Swing and a miss. Brantley down on strikes. Let's look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. In the outfield, Ibanez, Granderson, and Swisher. That's left to right. Infield, Rodriguez, Nix, Derek Jeter just the day off. Cano, and then Chavez. The DH is Teixeira. Russell Martin missed 3 games with a sore lower back. He's back behind the plate. And Pettit is on the mound.
You always kind of hold your breath when guys get back in the lineup, but it's good to see Russell Martin back in the lineup where he didn't have to take 5 or 6 games off where you get a little rusty.
Time is called. With a left-hander on the mound, on the bench for the Indians is Chisenhall, Hanahan, Shin-Soo Choo, and Johnny Damon. Now, they've started the first 2 games. So you take out a lot of their good hitters, and that's why they've lost 9 of the last 10 games against left-handed starters.
Yeah, Choo's probably your best all-around player on the whole team, and he's got the day off because Andy Pettit's been extremely tough with that breaking ball against lefties.
And they're 5-15 against lefty starters. That's the worst in the majors. 1-2.
You look over at Choo, I'm talking about how good he is, how good all-around player, but came into today's game hitting 188 against lefties, so he has struggled.
Strike 3. Cabrera down looking. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 77 degrees, 36% humidity. The wind is 15 miles per hour, and it's mostly sunny.
I still think you got an accent on tea.
I don't understand how you could have an accent on tea.
Tay, there's a C.
I didn't say Tay, I said tea. Pitch to Kipnis is a strike. The 0-1. There's a base hit to center field off the bat of Kipnis.
This is usually what happens when you see good hitters, and Kipnis being one of the better hitters on their lineup. He started the first game 0 for. Last night he was 0 for 3. Then he comes through his last at bat last night with a base hit, rolls it right into today. Good piece of hitting, and he left that one over the plate a little bit. Drilled to right center field. Kipnis runs, but Andy Pettitte, everybody knows, has a great move. So if you're going to steal a base on Andy Pettitte, you go on first movement and you just try to guess along with him that he's not coming over there. Got too good a move to try to read him and steal the base. Talk about instant offense. Lopez comes in last night, hits a 3-run homer as a pinch hitter. Boy, Manny Acta couldn't wait to get him back in the lineup today.
Andy gave up 5 runs against the Mets in his last start in the first inning. And he said afterward, I thought that after missing a year, I'd be a little bit more calm and not as jacked up about things. He said, but I've been beating myself up over that inning ever since. So he cares so much. And that's why he put such effort into every one of his starts.
Well, if you look at part of his success, obviously he's gifted, he's strong, he's got a great arm, and he's been healthy, but part of his success is because of his intensity, and that's why he's been good in big games, and he's very competitive, and that was always fun to watch and play behind him.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out the side. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Indians nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Now it's the Yankees' turn, and their starting lineup is presented by Lexus. With Derek Jeter out, Curtis Granderson will play center and lead off. Batting second and playing right field, Nick Swisher. Alex Rodriguez, the third baseman, will hit third. Cleaning up second baseman Robinson Cano. DHing today, Mark Teixeira will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing left field, Raul Ibanez. Eric Chavez at first base will bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching, Russell Martin. And Jason Nix will play shortstop today and also bat ninth. Ubaldo Jimenez gets the start for the Cleveland Indians. His numbers, this is his 15th start, 7-5, 4.59, less than a hit per inning pitch. He has too many walks, 58 strikeouts, 249 batting average. Now it's time for the McDonald's pitcher scouting report. We'll get to it in a moment.
That was a sneak peek for you, Michael. You cheat.
All right, now you can tell us.
On the road again. This is his 5th road start in the last 6 starts. Wild thing. He's thrown 56 wild pitches over the last 5 seasons. And walk on by. His average of 5.5 walks per 9 innings. This season, the highest in Major League Baseball.
We got 3 songs again.
3 songs? You got them all?
All right, so On the Road Again is Willie Nelson.
God, you're good today, man.
What was the second one?
Wild Thing. You got to know this one.
I know it was in the movie Major League.
Oh, that's not. No, that's not the one.
How about The Drugs?
You know what? I'm going to give you that, but the one I was thinking was Tone Loc.
Okay.
A Little Wild Thing.
You knew The Drugs, though.
I did, but
wow.
You know what? Now that you said it, I'm going to give you it.
All right, as they give Granderson a walk, and that's a problem with Jimenez.
And Walk On By, you got no chance. I'm just telling you got no chance.
Walk on by.
Oh my God! If we're going to sing, I'm quit playing.
This is probably wrong.
I'm going to give you a hint. I'm going to give you a hint.
Who?
She was on The Apprentice. Dionne Warwick. Good job, Michael. I'm really proud. That 5-hour energy you took worked.
No, this is not lighter. So Jimenez walks Granderson, and he averages 5.4 walks per 9 innings. That's the highest in Major League Baseball. Granderson bluffed, stopped, then was going, and then stopped again. And none the worse for wear.
We've talked about the Indians and their lack of offense, and it's just early in the game, starting pitchers for the Indians have to know that you've got to throw zeros up. You cannot get behind and put more pressure on an offense that just can't score runs right now. And you watch Jimenez. I mean, here's a guy that's pitched in All-Star games, World Series games with Colorado, Championship Series. So he's got a good pedigree, but he needs to be able to be that #1 starter. And he's awkward to hit off of, but you see that. I mean, everything is coming at you. He's got a good curveball, a good split finger.
Well, he was a disappointment when they got him from the Rockies, and you'll see what Paul's talking about with this pitch. Swing right over the top. Because the time that the Indians got Jimenez, the Tigers got Doug Fister. Fister was lights out. Jimenez really struggled, and the Tigers ran away with the Central. Also last year when they got him, Jimenez used to throw 98 miles an hour. He was throwing about 91. Now he's back to about 95. Now look at the difference. The first half of 2010 when he started the All-Star game for the Rockies, 15-1. Since then, 21-25. That's why pitchers that have a long extended period of greatness really jump out at you. Because any pitcher could have a great season, but then it just falls off the cliff. The guys that could stay great, pretty impressive.
How about the guys that have great careers and then just go home for a year or two and then come back and then they can still play? That's pretty
different.
Cool too.
Yeah,
huh?
That's pretty different. I'd like to see a right fielder have a really good career, win 5 World Series, take 11 years off, and then go back.
And go, start with the old-timers game and just jump in on Monday?
That's what got Andy going.
Yeah.
Came as an instructor to spring training, got the itch, and the rest is history.
I just don't like my chances, I'm telling you right now.
Runner goes, pitches high, throw to second. Not in time. Good throw would have gotten him. He did not have a great jump. But Granderson with a stolen base. That's his 5th stolen base of the year.
Had a pretty good jump in it. I mean, he's not going to hold runners well because he's got that awkward delivery and it's slow going to the plate. I think you're right, Michael. A perfect throw would have had him. Now, how often are you going to get that perfect throw? Good job by Granderson.
So you thought he had a good jump?
No, I did. Jimenez is an easy guy to steal off, and you have to take advantage of guys like this. I mean, he's slow going to the plate.
Swisher swings and misses, so he does not move Granderson over to third.
As a base stealer, or even a guy that steals once in a while, you go over scouting reports and you go over power pitchers with long deliveries. You have to take advantage of that, and puts a lot of pressure on pitchers when you're stealing bases on them.
Here's Alex Rodriguez hit his 13th home run of the year last night into the second deck in left field. It traveled 420 feet. But A-Rod has struggled of late. 7 for his last 38. That's 184. I have a fun question. You know, we're joking about you coming back. You're 49 years old. If you came back, could you get a hit off the pitcher?
Like today or in a couple weeks?
Couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could get a hit or two. I don't think you're ever going to be able to put up numbers good enough to be on a roster.
So if you got yourself in shape, you could catch up to a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
You give me 20 at bats, I bet I get a hit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You give me 1 at bat, I don't like my chances. But I mean, to walk up there today and try to do it, no. I'd be very lucky to even foul a ball off.
Okay. The 1-0 upstairs. That's right. You can play Sunday at the Old Timers there.
Coney's throwing his best stuff. I don't like my chances. And this is another thing with Jimenez is, I mean, he's not a comfortable at bat because of his windup and his control problems. I mean, he walks people. He throws wild pitches. It's just a very hard at bat for a hitter to look in one spot. There's a good stat for you, Michael, because this is an important stat for the Yankees.
Yankees 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position this series. Breaking ball, drops it in on 2-0. The count now 2-1. It's a tough league. You work the count with 2-0 and you don't get the fastball you want.
That's the new thing. I mean, obviously you've got a base open, but you got Robinson Cano on Jack, who I don't think any pitcher wants to pitch around somebody to get to him.
Let it go.
He checks his swing, says Tom Hallion, the crew chief.
I mean, there are times where, you know, a base open, you just give a guy a walk, but I think that is I mean, pitchers are afraid to give up hits with a base open. I mean, I think you go after people, and if you get behind in count, sure, you throw backwards with breaking balls, but just to give away walks doesn't make sense to me.
I think the Indian pitchers are so attuned to the fact their offense cannot score. Every single time they pitch with a runner in scoring position, they act like it's the 9th inning.
Right.
Missed inside, so A-Rod does walk. Stayed away from the fastball. So 2 walks for Jimenez. Let's take a look at the Indians defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Shelley Duncan, his first start. He's in left field. Then you've got Brantley and Cunningham left to right. Infield, Lopez, Cabrera, Kipnis, and Kochman third to first. Lou Morrison is behind the plate. And Ubaldo Jimenez is on the mound.
Well, Robbie Cano, somebody asked me, what do you think it would take for the Yankees to really start doing well with runners in scoring position? And I think it becomes a mental thing as a team. And I think Robbie Cano, if you look at his numbers, his average with running scoring position, if you get one guy hot in that position, I think everybody kind of follows in line. It's just like the starting pitching thing. And the one guy that I look at that could do that is Robbie Cano. And he started this series off first time up with a double early in the game in the first game. So, you know, these were big at bats for Robbie.
Count 0-2.
Talk about recent success. Cano 11 for 32, 6 home runs and 9 RBIs in his last 9 games.
Count 1-2. A walk to Granderson, a walk to A-Rod. First and second with 1 out. You'll also see Jimenez throw a couple past Morrison. He's thrown 56 wild pitches in his last 5 seasons. And he doesn't make it easy on himself. He has not had a 1-2-3 inning in the first inning of any of his starts this year.
He must be a guy that, you know, has to find a rhythm, and until you get out on the mound and find that rhythm, it usually takes a couple. And there are really good pitchers. Tom Glavine comes to mind. You know, he gave up more runs in the first inning than he gave up like the rest of the game every time. It just took him a while to get into the game. has hung that pitch right there. Robbie fouled it off. That ball was up in the zone, a ball that he can handle. Tries to throw a breaking ball in, and it just stays up.
Now you see the pitch count on Jimenez, 21, and I was talking to one of the Indian broadcasters, and he gave me a little scouting report. He said if he's at 100 pitches after 5 innings, he's doing well. That's just the pitcher he is. He just doesn't throw easy innings. I think yesterday, didn't Masterson throw 30 or 50 pitches in the first 2 innings?
Yeah. He had 1 inning where he had 30-something, and I saw him after the game, and I mean, you should just talk about a guy that battled out there, and you look at what could have happened. He could have been in the game, but it does not make it easy on your offense, your defense, when you continually have long innings like this.
And the Yankees don't help pitchers out because a lot of these pitchers can get past other teams that don't take pitches. The Yankees will not help you by offering off the plate, so they force you to throw pitches over the zone. And sometimes they swing over the top, as Robinson Cano just did.
You know, Jimenez a lot like Kuroda the first night. If he gets in 2-strike counts, these are the type of strikeouts you're going to see because he can really expand things, and he's got enough on his split finger and his curveball that, you know, he can get some strikeouts when he needs them. But it's all about, you know, being wild at the right time and, you know, get ahead in the count. 1-2, 0-2, and then you can get a little wild and you'll get strikeouts. Teixeira looking for his first hit off, and then his career-wise, he's 0 for 10 coming into this at bat.
Granderson leads off second, A-Rod off first. We're in the first inning, no score. Foul back. Good life on that fastball, 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that was a good location, inner half. You know, if you have, you know, if that's 90, 91, very good pitch to hit. But when it's at 95, you see it just kind of ties him up. That ball is in on the label a little bit.
Jimenez will work into and out of trouble, so the 2 walks do not hurt him as Lopez puts that away, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left on base. Andy Pettitte struck out the side in the first inning. Carlos Santana will start it off in the second. And here are the statements you can choose from. Get the call right at all costs. Keep replay as it is. Bad calls are part of the game. You can text your vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply.
You know, I can deal with number 3 a lot better in the booth than I could on the field. Bad calls are part of the game.
Boy, if that was you yesterday that hit that ball.
I'd be a little chapped. Yeah.
You know, the argument is the games are long enough, and some games are long, but isn't the whole idea to get all the calls right? And if you could do that, you might as well do it, even if it adds a couple of minutes to the game. And there are some people I've spoken to that think, you know what, it would shorten the game because it would get rid of arguments. Managers and players wouldn't argue about calls because, boom, you look at the replay, you get it right.
You know who's joining us in the booth tomorrow? Lou Piniella. I mean, without his arguments, I mean, that was part of the fun of going to the Cincinnati Reds games. If something happened and Lou, took the field, it shows, that games do mean something and people are into them. I love it.
Well, Lou Piniella told me a story. I think he told it on Center Stage, that when he was hired as the manager of the Yankees, Yankee owner George Steinbrenner said, listen, you have one job, and that's to win. I want you to win games. Grounded to third. A-Rod gets Santana. No, he doesn't, as the throw pulls Chavez off the bag. We'll see how they score that. And George Steinbrenner told Lou Piniella, and your second job is to entertain.
You see Teixeira, I mean, stay on the bag as long as he possibly could. Or Chavez, I'm sorry, E5, and, keep forgetting Joe Girardi's like mixing guys up, giving days off in this 17 game streak. And Eric Chavez over at first base today, but like I said, he stayed on the bag as long as he could. The ball is wide. You got to come off your most important thing as a first baseman is to catch the baseball. And if you cannot stretch and catch it, you've got to leave the bag.
That one's punched into right field. It is a base hit. Nick Swisher cuts over. He can't get the ball. It goes all the way to the wall. Santana will round third, and he will score. So the error haunts the Yankees as Duncan picks up an RBI double, and the Indians lead 1-0.
I'll tell you, what you do know what you get, and Yankee fans know when you have Shelley Duncan is you're going to get 3 good swings. He never goes up there looking to kind of flare one here. He takes good swings. This ball out over the plate. Shelley Duncan drives it to right field. You usually see him try to pull a lot of balls. And Andy Pettit kind of pitched him that way, and he took it that way.
Pitch to Kochman. Here's a strike. Shelley had been 0 for his last 13 before that double, and 9 for his last 67. He'd been playing a lot, then really ran into some struggles.
You saw those numbers, Casey Kochman, another guy that just, he's a better hitter than that. And it's not lack of effort. It's just some years things don't go well. Ended up getting a hit his last time up yesterday. But here's a guy that's capable of, being close to a 300 hitter. Great defensive player. This is where Andy Pettit has been at his best. He's getting ahead of left-handed hitters and just continually throwing that breaking ball. Michael, I think his breaking ball since he's come back is better than when he left. He was much more of a cutter, and he could really use his sinker and changeup. And this kind of slurve that he's throwing now is just, it's been a great pitch for him. It is.
4 strikeouts for Pettit. Well, Joe Girardi said it's not as much of a cutter anymore. He said it is a slider.
Yeah, I mean, that ball right there registered as a cutter on the scoreboard, but that has a much bigger break than his old cut fastball that he used to run in on righties that, they couldn't keep fair.
Strike. Have you joined us late, didn't see the pregame show? Yankees got some bad news today when they put CC Sabathia, their #1 starter, on the DL. A strained adductor muscle. And it's in his left leg. They're actually calling it a groin injury, but and CC first felt it Sunday pitching against the Mets when he opposed R.A. Dickey. Didn't tell the Yankees, and the adductor muscle is in red right there. So Brian Cashman, the Yankee GM, said it's essentially a groin muscle. He also said that if this was September, CC Sabathia would probably not be put on the DL. So this is his 3rd DL stint. 2 other times with the oblique muscle, and now the adductor groin muscle. And he will miss Wednesday's start, or first Friday start against the White Sox. Slow roller to Nix. He barehands, fires. Good play by Jason Nix as Duncan moves to 3rd.
Right, Michael, on that. This is just hard work when you're not playing, because you know Jason Nix playing shortstop, giving Derek Jeter a day off. I mean, this is a play that it's hard to emulate this play in practice. You try over and over again, but a very tough play coming in, barehanding it. Big out.
Finally, CC will miss Friday start against the White Sox, and then the next start would be Wednesday against Tampa Bay. He would not have pitched against the Red Sox before the All-Star game. So Freddie Garcia is going to start Friday, and they expect to get 50 or 60 pitches out of him because he's been broken down as a starter and been pitching out of the bullpen. And they are likely going to call up Adam Warren to take CC's place on the roster tomorrow. CC wanted to try to pitch through it, but Brian Cashman said rather miss 2 starts, 8, and the way it works right now, he'll probably miss about 2 starts. So with that ground out by Marson, the run that was scored is an unearned run, but it's on the board nonetheless. There's a strike to Cunningham. Now Brian also said that after the All-Star break you might see CC on the back end of the rotation. That gives him an extra few days, but they don't expect this to be long-term or serious. The 2-1. 3-1.
Definitely takes CC out of the consideration of pitching in the All-Star game too, if that was going to be a
yeah, that's out. Also with Garcia, he pitched his way out of the rotation early. When Andy Pettitte came back, it was Garcia that was definitely the odd man out. But he was averaging about 87 miles an hour, 86 miles an hour with the fastball. But in June, coming out of the bullpen, his fastball is about 90.5 miles per hour, which is very good. So we'll see what they could get out of him innings-wise on Friday. Here's the 3-2. Missed upstairs. So a walk to the #9 hitter, who was 3 for his last 29. Andy didn't want to do that. And that brings up Michael Brantley. Michael Brantley, it's an interesting stat with Michael. 92% of his swings this season result in contact, fair or foul. And that's the highest rate in the American League. Not too many swings and misses.
Yeah, I was going to say he struck out his first time up, and again, Andy Pettitte gets a lot of swings and misses from lefties with that breaking ball. It looks like a curveball to me. Now you can call it whatever you want. They call it a cutter, but it's just a larger break to the left-handed hitter.
And Brantley had not struck out in 35 plate appearances, the longest streak of his career. Before that, strikeout in the first inning. And only Ichiro Suzuki strikes out fewer times with less frequency than Brantley. Brantley strikes out once every 10.6 times up. Ichiro at once every 13.3 times. That was a wave. 1-1.
Very hard as a left-handed hitter. You know, you have to be a little bit quicker and very hard. It looks like a fastball, and you see you're just fooled. You've committed to swinging. There's not much to do. Good pitch there. Now you know as a hitter, now you're kind of rocking back and forth. You've seen a breaking ball away. That ball busts you inside for a strike. So now you know he has control of both sides of the plate, and you're in an account where you're down 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Kenny Pitta has him right where he wants him.
Trying to catch Cunningham sleeping. Lefty's having a tough time against him. 190, righty's 243. And when his cutter was at the height, righty struggled against him.
Well, it was a busy day for the third baseman. And he had his cutter working on righties. A lot of ground balls.
Pickoff. And they get him. The runner from third, Duncan, took off, but the Yankees continued as a good throw by Chavez to second base nailed Cunningham as Nix applied the tag. But 1 run scores on the big error by A-Rod. We'll go to the bottom of the second, and Ibanez will lead off. For a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the White Sox. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Yankees luggage tag, courtesy of North American Power. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Ibanez takes a pitch high, 1-0 as the Indians lead 1-0. One.
Big game for the Indians today, Michael. I mean, they're in the middle of a tough road trip. They're trying to compete in the Central. Continue to go on to Baltimore for 4 after this, after coming out of 3 of the Yankees. So long road trip, tough time to score and runs. You know, if they can just battle and win a game here or there, when they get home, they can try to make some hay.
It's got a piece. Indians a game and a half behind the White Sox. White Sox come in for a 4-game set starting tomorrow. Tigers 3 back. The Royals really hanging in there, just 5 back. Grounded to second. Kipnis gets Ibanez for the first out.
Just look. I mean, I've never faced him in this, but you can just look at his delivery and tell that he'd be very tough to pick up. Throws hard, has a good curveball, so when he is on, you can see why. I mean, he had such gaudy numbers out in Colorado. I mean, he can be tough when he's got his good stuff. Just a lot of things coming at you. Drops his arm behind him, jumps at you.
2-1, 2.05 in 4 starts in June. Indians got him from the Rockies right at the trade deadline last year, July 31st, 2001. And they sent 2011. They sent their 2 top pitching prospects, Alex Wright and Drew Pomeranz, both of them in the minor leagues for the Rockies. Also Joe Gardner, a pitcher, and Matt McBride, an infielder. Grounded softly to second. They'll get Chavez. The Rockies are doing some weird stuff too. They're going with 4 starters now. And there's that trade we were talking about. And the 4 starters aren't going to go more than 4 or 5 innings.
Really short pitch count. Now you tell me something. You're a general manager. Do you hesitate by giving up 2 good prospects to bring in an established starter? Or does it just depend on what kind of market you're in?
If I think I have a chance to win, and they thought last year they had a chance to win, I would make that trade. And I remember something that Dallas Green told me when he was the manager of the Yankees. He said there are so few opportunities to win the World Series or to get into the playoffs. If you have an opportunity, you trade your young kids to get that veteran to put you over the top.
I've just seen so many young kids that are just tagged as can't miss.
And they miss.
They miss. And they miss by a long shot, too. So it's just guys that have a track record of being good up here. For me as a general manager, I would take chances with guys that you can bet on than young prospects that are supposed to be great. And I know it's an expensive way to set up a team, but for some reason you just see too many. Look at this guy. Look, I didn't even show up to my seat today.
It's just the empty seat. But you're thinking the Yankee way, though. As Russell Martin goes down looking. A 1-2 inning for Jimenez, so a nice bounce back inning for him after struggling in the first. We're going to go to the 3rd. Brantley will get another try against Petty. On Yes with the 66th annual Old Timers Day special. Guests will include Paul O'Neill, Lou Piniella, many others. Catch your favorite Yankees from the past as they don the pinstripes and take the field once again. Complete coverage starts Sunday at 11, followed by the Yankees-White Sox game only on Yes. On the Lincoln scoreboard, it's 1-0 Indians. So Michael Brantley, who was up there when Aaron Cunningham was caught stealing, gets a fresh set of strikes and balls, and it's 1-1.
Can you buy those in the store? Fresh set of balls and strikes.
Sometimes a lot of hitters wish they could. Jack Curry, who's back in the studio, tweeted out that what you were just saying on the air, that you thought you could get 1 hit out of 20 if you came back. And people tweeted back, that'd be 19 water coolers in trouble.
I got a bad rap around here, man.
I don't know how it happened. The 1-2. Strike 3. Brantley strikes out again.
That was the breaking ball at him. It wasn't the breaking ball away. Ends up on the inside corner, and he just has great control of that cutter right there.
There they go, Paul.
Look how there's not even a dent in those things anymore. They don't even look used. Huh? Beat them up a little bit. Huh?
Those same water coolers are going to be there Sunday for the Old Timers game.
Just in case?
Just do it. Just turn back the clock. It'd be great. Put a little picture of me on it, and that'll give you further incentive.
You come up here and dump it on you when we're done. It's like you won something.
Now you're going to wear the microphone while you're on the field?
I basically do what I'm told up here now.
Really?
Michael, if I walk down there and they say, hey, you're wearing a microphone, I can't even talk back to anybody anymore. Well,
I like it. That's a lockdown.
Canelo's going to be out there, too. He has probably more interesting things to say.
I think he's a little more dangerous to Mike Lou.
Coney's got no chance, huh?
I think Bernie's going to be here, too. With Tino, the whole gang back together.
Haven't had a catch with Bernie in the outfield for a long time.
There you go. It all started in '96 with that championship.
Andy talking to himself out there, talking about fastball. Sometimes the catchers can read his lips. We talked about the talent as Asdrubal Cabrera. This is a guy in the next 3 or 4 years that you're really going to hear a lot of. Ouch.
6 strikeouts for Andy.
Yeah, and they've all been on that cutter, breaking ball, whatever you want to call it. He kind of changes the angle every once in a while to righties. Boy, that ball really had a big break on it. Got Russell Martin right on the top of the head on the recoil there of the swing.
Swing and a miss.
I mean, he's just automatic right there. That's it. That's 74 there. That's, more of a breaking ball, curve ball. So he's frustrated. He's trying to be able to throw that ball in to lefties. Once you've started him off with a curveball, you can lock him up with a fastball in and go back to it.
Nice play by Cano. And a nice stretch by Chavez for the final out of the third. And Cano said, that's my fault. Indians go down 1-2-3. 2 strikeouts. A nice grab by Cano, but an even nicer stretch and keeping his foot on the bag by Chavez. Paul O'Neill batted .359 to win the 1994 American League batting title. Who finished second? Now, don't give me the answer. Do you know who finished second?
Yeah.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Is the bat still under the couch downstairs in the house?
Yeah, it's a little tarnished, too.
Lincoln scoreboard 1-0 Indians. Jason Nix will lead off against Jimenez. There's a strike.
Talk about that bat downstairs, and it is a prized possession. There's no doubt about it. And I just heard in my ear Bill Bowen talking about Dink, who's a little dog.
Right.
I can just see Dink walking up the steps with that like a bone, just carrying it up the steps.
I think that bat's heavier than Dink.
Probably. Dink, you've seen him on the treadmill before.
Yeah.
Boy's in shape. I'll tell you what, if you look at what's going on the mound from both sides, both these guys look like they got their A game. Andy Pettitt's breaking ball and his cutter been really, really good. And Jimenez, the last couple innings, thrown a lot more strikes. And when he pitches ahead in the count, so many good things happen for him because he has so many pitches he can go to. 96 there, a little overthrown, but still.
The 2-2. So Nix has worked the count full. You got to be patient with Jimenez. He will walk you.
And this should be the guy to have a big game, right? Seems like Joe Girardi, every time he presses a button for a little spot start, the guy comes out and does well. Dwayne Wise had a couple big games.
Swing and a miss.
Going to get him later.
All right.
And a breaking ball kind of hung up there just high, didn't break. When you're in there every day and you're locked in, boy, you really would love to see that hanging break ball from Jimenez.
Strike to Granderson, who walked in the first inning and stole second.
Jimenez has really found control with that slider right there, getting ahead.
Showing bunt.
Can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but all of a sudden he's in that leadoff role. Faking a bunt. Good pitch there, 95 on the inside corner. Taking a picture of you, Michael.
Not of me. I think
Right
that's
at you.
aimed at you. And the count 3-1. High fly ball. Right center. Cunningham back on the track. He'll make the play in front of the wall for the second out.
Well, you're talking about, what, a quarter of an inch, half of an inch of where you hit this ball on the barrel, whether that ends up in the seats or on the warning track like it did. And that's what's so frustrating as a hitter. Let's take a look here. Just off the end of the bat enough, and he knew immediately. As a hitter, you know it's just off the end a little bit. Didn't quite catch it square. That costs you 10, 20 feet. That's an out. The difference between an out and a home run.
Curtis in a little bit of a slump. One for his last 17 after that fly out. The pitch inside to Swisher. I think you used to wear those shades toward the end of your career. Was it tougher? Or, I mean,
You mean
yeah, while you
glasses?
batted.
Yeah, I didn't wear them. I couldn't do it when I was hitting. It bothered me. Bernie did. I wore them in the outfield, obviously.
High fly ball right field. Cunningham on the track. He'll make the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. So Jimenez has retired 8 in a row We are going to go to the fourth. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the Indian lineup. Lead the Yankees 1-0 as we go to the fourth, and we are joined in the booth by our colleague Meredith Marakovitz as Hope Week continues here in New York City. The first pitch to Lopez is a strike. That's Meredith, by the way. Tell us what great thing happened today. I just love what the Yankees do during Hope Week.
It was fantastic. 5-year-old Andy Fast has ocular albinism, so he can't see. He's legally blind. He can see, but it's very fuzzy for him. He was also born without pigment in his skin, so that forces him to avoid long exposure in the sun. They were told, his parents were told, that he wouldn't be able to play baseball. He likely wouldn't be able to drive. And you see him right there, huge smile on his face. Awesome kid. He had the opportunity to meet CC Sabathia, Phil Hughes, Clay Rapata, and they handed him that big baseball so he could see it. And it's just such an interesting story because he met Andy Pettit. He went to a Trenton Thunder game. It was his first ever professional baseball game. And Andy Pettit handed him a baseball as he was walking from his bullpen to the mound or to the dugout to make his start when he was on that rehab assignment. And that kind of sparked a fire in him. And he said, I want to play baseball. So they signed him up for a T-ball league at the YMCA, and he is now playing T-ball. And his parents said, many parents of kids with albinism, they may not let him do that, but he wants to do it. We're going to allow him to do it, and he's having a good time in the process. So he's enjoying his day. As you saw the smile, he's 100%. One of the best days of his life, extremely happy. And there's the photo right there of him at Waterfront Park in Trenton, Andy handing him the ball. And it was a weird circumstance of events that even got him to Trenton that night. His sister was supposed to be honored for being the most improved student, so his parents very proud of her.
Ground ball at Knicks. He'll get Lopez.
So 7-year-old Katie was there, and it was a Wednesday game till they got their schedule together. They didn't get the tickets in time. It was announced that Tuesday that Andy Pettit was going to be pitching there. So his father actually took to Facebook and said, Andy Pettit, thank you for ruining my family evening. And somebody actually came out and said, hey, I'm a season ticket holder. I have tickets. I'm not using them. Would you like them? And they were those choice seats that you saw him in there. So they went to that game, got the ball, and then a family friend waited for Andy after the game and said, you handed little Andy this ball. Would you mind signing it for him? And Pettit actually signed the ball. So it was just a weird circumstance of events that turned him on to the sport of baseball. And it's not over with throwing out the first pitch or being in the suite today. It'll be much more than that. A couple of the Yankees are going to go out in the city afterwards, have a little bit of a party, and they're going to play T-ball with them.
That's great. And it's totally a surprise to Andy today, coming to the ballpark. He didn't know what was going to happen.
He knew he was coming to the ballpark, but he did not know that they're going out in the city after. So that part is still a surprise. He hasn't been completely clued in on it yet.
I'm hoping he's not watching the broadcast now in the suite.
Well, I didn't tell you where he's going,
Okay.
and I got to tell you, he's an extremely active 5.5-year-old. So I was up in the suite earlier. I had the opportunity to meet him. He was running all over the place. Was excited that his dad was letting him eat pizza and fries outside, watching all the going-ons on the field with the Cleveland Indians taking batting practice. So I highly doubt he's sitting there watching the TV, listening to our broadcast right now.
That one has popped up off the bat of Shelley Duncan. And Cano makes the catch. Meredith, great stuff. Really great stuff. And more to come the next couple of days for Hope Week as it continues with the Yankees. This game continues. We go to the bottom of the fourth. State Smokers Quit Line Quiz answer. Paul O'Neill batted .359 to win the American League batting title in 1994. So, Paul, who finished second?
Albert Bell. And I think Frank Thomas was third.
Close race.
It was a little too close. I went 0 for 5 on my last game.
Really?
Yeah, thought I choked.
Now, did you know that they were going to strike the next day?
Yeah, no, not the next day, but everybody figured it was a day or two or a week and we'd be back. So
right.
That was a big shock.
The 0-1 to A-Rod. 0-2. 1-0 Indians lead the Yanks. One thing that you have to watch out with this Indians team, don't give them a lead after 6, because the last 3 innings are shutdown innings with Smith, Pistano, and then Chris Perez. And that's the secret to their success. They're 13-0 on the road when they lead after the 6th inning.
I'll tell you, Jimenez has got a good fastball. He just has not been able to locate it. Slider's been good. The strikeout pitch has been good. Boy, if he starts to paint that fastball, it's going to be tough. You drop down a little bit of that, and you see a little movement, but still 95.
Swing and a miss. A-Rod down on strikes. Verizon customers, you won't have to miss a game again now that you can watch live Yes Network Yankee games on your PCs or laptops with Verizon Fios. Get the remaining season of live Yankees games on the go for just $39.99. If you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Here's Cano. 1-0. The Yankees had an opportunity in the first inning, 2 walks, first and second, 1 man out, but Cano struck out. Teixeira popped to third.
You know, if you're one of the 45,000 here today, what do you do on a beautiful day in New York in the summer?
A lot of people probably working.
Yeah? Sneak out for lunch or something. I know you take long breaks in New York, right, for lunch?
Line drive, base hit. This isn't Spain.
Well, they take siestas,
Yeah.
but they just take long lunches.
So base hit for Cano.
Robbie Cano gets a ball, kind of a hanger, and just absolutely rips it to right field. You know, slow motion or in real live motion, you see the extension there, but it continues through the zone, out towards the pitcher, doesn't pull off the ball. Just a beautiful swing.
Here's Teixeira. Count 1-0.
Teixeira popped out with runners on base first time up on a big curveball. Now he's gone back to his slider. Just wonder, every once in a while as a hitter, you can put that in the back of your mind and how he got you out. A lot of times pitchers will go back to that pitch. See if Jimenez adjusts.
One and two.
He's had a split finger or something he's turned over, and that looked like a fastball out of his hand. And it had that movement as his fastball, but just 85 miles an hour, so he took 10 miles an hour off that ball. See if he goes inside hard. Yep.
Teixeira down looking.
And again, you know, you pop up with a big curveball this time. This was kind of a clinic. He threw it away, and then he came in with that two-seamer running back over the inside corner. Tough at bat. Right on the corner. You know, Michael, there's seldom do you ever, and looking back at thousands of bats, seldom do you ever go back to the dugout as a hitter when you've made an out and look at the at bat in your mind and think, I didn't have one pitch to hit. Usually you get a pitch or two to hit every single time, whether you foul them off or put them away. That at bat right there, not much you can do. I mean, good split finger away, good fastball in, good slider. I mean, that's one of those at bats as a hitter you feel like you got cheated because you didn't give an opportunity to have a pitch to hit.
But you probably don't beat yourself up after a bat like that because nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's like I said, I can take these at bats a lot better now than I used to. But there were times that, you know, you walk up to the plate and then you go back and you made an out and you look back at 2 or 3 pitches you really could have done something with. And the great pitchers, it might be one pitch. The mediocre pitches, you're getting 2 or 3.
There's a strike on 3-0.
And all of a sudden he's able to throw that two-seamer to these lefties on the inside corner. And that's you know, Phil Hughes had so much success last night with his fastball on the inside corner. You can establish that, boy, it really makes everything else tough to hit.
A walk to Ibanez, first and second now with 2 outs. Hitting the road, take the Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees out-of-market game live, online, and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. So the Yankees had first and second. In the first inning, they have first and second here in the fourth. 3 walks by Ubaldo Jimenez, and here's Chavez. 1-0. Chavez has really struggled this year with runners in scoring position. The numbers are startling. 1 for 22 in these spots. So a big spot in this game. We told you about that 6-inning mark against the Indians. That one is laced into left center field. That ball is in there, and it'll go to the wall. Cano will score. Here comes Ibanez, and he scores. It's a 2-run double for Chavez. He comes through big, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
Eric Chavez in Citi Field the other night get a high pitch and drive it out. That's another high pitch away. Really, really good piece of hitting and just driving it the other way, especially with runners in scoring position. Just put the ball in play. Big hit for the Yankees.
Yankees have gotten those hits and runners in scoring position this series that they had not been getting for most of the year. Here's Russell Martin. Shows bunt, takes outside.
Boy, those 2 out hits with runners in scoring position just absolutely can kill a pitcher. I mean, we talked about going back to the dugout as a hitter and going through the at-bat. Pitchers do the same thing. You know, one pitch ends up costing you 2 runs. Seems like Joe Girardi's been pushing all the right buttons. Chavez gets a day off yesterday, comes back, gets a big hit.
So those numbers add up to 6 for 15 with runners in scoring position. And the Yankees were just over 200 for the season. So Marson goes out and talks with Jimenez. Girardi has certainly been making the right moves, putting people in and out of the lineup. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Ground ball to second. Kipnis throws out Martin, and that will do it. But the Yankees take the lead. 2 runs on 2 hits. The big double by Eric Chavez. We go to the 5th. Yankees up 2-1. Town tomorrow night to start a 4-game set against the Yanks. That'll be the first time each team has seen each other. Kia scoreboard with that 2-run double by Chavez. Yankees take a 2-1 lead, so Andy Pettitte now has that to work with. It'll be the bottom third of the order for Pettitte, starting with Kochman.
You know, Mike, I don't think there's going to be much controversy over the comeback player of the year in the American League this year, huh? I mean, Adam Dunn was horrible last year. He comes back and have a huge year like he's having this year.
But one thing you have to almost read between the numbers, he's hitting home runs. He has a very low batting average. Something like 215.
He's like the old-time power hitters, the Dave Kingmans and guys like that, that, you know, hit 220 but hit 30 or 40 home runs.
Off of Pettit, and it hit him solid, and he goes down. So Kochman will reach, and now the Yankees will hold their breath.
You know, this is either shin or a knee, and either way, both of them, they, you know, immediately they hurt. And it looks like right off the ankle bone of the shin.
Such pain he could not go after the ball. So now let's see when he tries to throw. Andy's this year already caught a comebacker with his bare hand, finished the inning. Andy has not thrown a pitch yet.
Trying to walk this off, so it's not anything to do with your arm, or it's just being able to put weight on that ankle.
Doesn't seem too anxious to continue to throw. Joe Girardi watching. Mark Littlefield.
It's one of those things you just keep waiting for it to kind of calm down, and it doesn't.
Now, Joe Girardi said that Freddie Garcia was going to start in place of the DL Sabathia on Friday unless he needed him before. So if Andy has to leave now, you wonder would they go to Garcia. From body language, Paul, doesn't seem like he's okay, but don't want to read it from too far away.
You know, from a pitcher standpoint, from a manager standpoint, you hope that, you know, he could get through this inning, and then, you know, it'll calm down between innings and he can keep going. But, you know, you don't want to see a guy kind of change his delivery because something hurts, and that's what you worry about.
Remember, Andy did not come out of the game when he caught the comebacker, and then after the game he said, I don't know how I got those final 2 outs, then had to leave afterward. So he's going to stay in the game with Kochman. At first, you have to get these 3 outs to be eligible for the win, but I don't think he's thinking like that. There's a strike to Morrison.
Yeah, he's hurt. You can see he's not able to. I mean, that's his landing foot, and Joe saw the same thing. They're not going to allow him to do that. And what happens is you start putting so much more stress on your arm because you're afraid to land hard on that foot. This is too important to the Yankees right now. And you'll see there he's almost hesitant to land and kind of throws more with his arm. And you see that's just.
Andy kind of walking off gingerly. So the Yankees will have to call on a pitcher from the bullpen. We'll have a lot of time to warm up. Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Well, Joe Girardi did not want to do it here in the 5th inning, but he had to. Andy Pettitte didn't look right. He makes the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by AT&T. And Yankees going to bring in Cody Epley, and Epley is not a long reliever by any stretch, so they will mix and match the rest of the way to try to hold on to this 2-1 lead. You see the numbers on Epley. He's done a nice job. But, Paul, despite the fact that Andy threw a strike, you could see he wasn't right, and that worries you. We've had chapter and verse throughout baseball history where a guy's hit on the foot, compensates, hurts the arm, and is never the same. And not that that would happen, but you don't even want to risk it. No,
you saw him land, and you saw him kind of give it. It was a total different delivery with his arm on that pitch than it has been. So you'll see it's just real ginger right there, and the arm has to make up for it, and you don't want that. You see him limping afterwards. At this point of the year, and as important as Andy is to this rotation, Joe Girardi just said that's it.
Now, for you younger viewers, you might not know this name, Dizzy Dean, in an all-star game, I believe, got hit on the toe with a comebacker and tried to pitch through it and was never the same and hurt his arm and never regained the greatness that he once had. So that's why a lot of managers and pitching coaches get worried when your foot is hurt or your ankle, and you can see that Andy did overcompensate for that, and Joe Girardi wanted no part of it. This could be a very tough day for the Yankees. You lose CC Sabathia. He's put on the DL with the adductor strain, and he's going to miss 2 starts. And Andy Pettitte, who's been such a rock for you, gets hit with the comebacker off the bat of Kochman, throws a strike to Marson, but the Yankees say, no, better safe than sorry. Now, Epley going to have as much time as he needs as he warms up, but as a short reliever, Paul, he's certainly not going to need that long a period of time. The players are starting to go out onto the field. The outfielders actually are now in the bullpen area. They actually went there where it's air conditioned behind the windows, and Joe Girardi has to think about what next for his team, which has been playing so well. So Ibanez comes out. Rapata is going to start getting ready as well. Curtis Granderson, and somewhere in there is Nick Swisher, who will also make his way out.
Imagine that. Yeah, and if you look at I can't really tell exactly where Andy Pettitte was hit, but it's either on the shin or the top of the ankle. I guarantee they got ice on it, and if you get that swelling out immediately, I could see him pitching it, in the rotation. That's not a big deal, but the soreness and stuff that you have right afterwards, and you can't land on it, for a day or two, it's going to be tough. But again, Stevie will get in there and try to keep the swelling. The big thing is to keep the swelling out of the joint of that ankle, where you can get your running in, you can get your work in, and be ready to pitch.
Well, the thing that sent out a warning flare to me, Paul, was the comebacker hit him, and then he could not bring himself to go after the ball. So if Andy Pettitte can't will himself to go after the ball, you knew that he was in a great amount of pain. But the bulldog in him refused to allow him to say, I've got to come out of the game. So he tried to grit his teeth and pitch through it, and that wasn't a good idea. And Joe Girardi noticed that right away. Here it is. Here's the play. Let's see if we can hit exactly where he's hit.
Yeah, it looks like just on the ankle bone. And again, that's a sore spot. There's no padding on that ankle bone to get hit. Immediately go down. And again, I think if you get some ice on this thing, you get the swelling out of there, you'll be fine. But it's kind of on the same lines as you see hitters foul balls off that ankle, and sometimes it can become something, but most of the time, a couple days later, you work through that.
Now Epley's going to take his final warm-up, and the fact that Joe doesn't use Garcia here, because you're going to need length unless you mix and match, shows that he's locked into Garcia to fill in for CC on Friday. There was the chance they're going to call up Adam Warren. We know that. Adam Warren could have made that start Friday if they use Garcia here. But knowing they'll get Warren tomorrow, that gives them some length out of the bullpen if they need it against the White Sox. So here we go, an 0-1 count on Marson. Runner on first base, nobody out. Top of the 5th, Yankees lead 2-1.
You know what? If you look at Joe Girardi's biggest strength, in my mind as a manager. It's the way he uses his bullpen, the way he rests people, the way he keeps people ready to go in that bullpen. And in this 17-game stretch, that's a challenge. There are times where you want to use guys that you can't, but that's the big thing. And I think he learned it from Joe Torre. That the big picture is much more important than today's game. And today's game, obviously, you go to win, you want to win. But the big picture, winning down the road and winning, getting into the playoffs is much more important.
2-1. Chop to third. It's a fair ball. It's off the glove of A-Rod, and everybody will reach. So Alex has already made an error in the second that led to an unearned run. I think that's going to be scored a hit, though. And it is a base hit.
Alex didn't get it. Almost looked like he thought that ball was going to be foul. It would have been a tough play either way, but a chop or tough break for Epley.
Now let's see if they have Cunningham bunt. Bunted. Chavez makes the play at first. The catch is made by Cano, so that scored 3-4 as the runners move up.
Michael, I just looked at that play that Chavez made, and you watch it on TV, and it's a 10-foot throw. If you're not used to making that throw, you're a third baseman. You do fill in at first once in a while. That is a harder play than you think, because you grip it funny, and you go to you're so used to just letting it go at third, and you can see him palm ball almost just aim it there because you just don't want to launch one over Robbie's head. Looks easy on TV, doesn't it, Mike?
Yep. But it's not. So you've got Brantley up at the plate right now, and they have a conference on the mound with Epley. Second and third with one out. Brantley's happy to see Pettit out of the ball game because he struck out twice against him. And Joe Girardi is not going to let Brantley face the righty Epley. He is going to call on Clay Rapata. So this is the beginning of the mixing and the matching he's going to have to do for the remainder of this game. So the lefty specialist will come on to face Brantley. See how he does next. To face Michael Brantley, and as Rapata is warming up, the Yankees do get up Freddie Garcia. And I repeat, Freddie Garcia is scheduled to start on Friday against the White Sox, filling in for CC Sabathia, who was put on the DL before the game. But Joe did leave open the possibility if I have to use Garcia today or tomorrow, then we will readjust on Friday. And the readjustment could be Adam Warren, who is going to be called up, and he's been a starter in the minor leagues. You could see Warren start on Friday.
And again, this is part of the the decisions Joe Girardi has to make in the middle of a 17-day thing. I mean, if you had a day off tomorrow or something like that, sure, you'd match up all your guys. But you know, you've got another 4-game series starting tomorrow with the White Sox where you just cannot just burn your whole bullpen.
The 0-1 fouled off, and the count 0-2 to Brantley.
We say about Brantley, hasn't struck out very much this year, and Pettit got him twice, and all of a sudden Rapata comes in from the bullpen, 0-2 again.
Grounded to first. They're coming home. The play is made, and he's out. As Russell Martin holds on, despite Kochman running him over. 2 outs.
Kind of surprising there. That ball's hit hard. And on second and third, a lot of times you will. Kochman goes in hard. I mean, good clean play. Russell Martin blocks the plate. Gets down, and you see Russell Martin kind of spin away from the contact, and that helps the catcher. And a lot of times right here, you know, you'll freeze, make the ball go through. Teixeira gives him a good throw. Chavez, how many times am I going to? I'm so used to seeing Teixeira at first base. Russell Martin, nowhere to go if you're Casey Kochman. You have to hit the catcher there. Totally blocked. Good job by Russell Martin.
And that's probably exactly what Russell Martin wanted, missing 3 games with a sore lower back to get run over. But he did hold on.
Another day in the life of a catcher, right?
Girardi's been through it. Now, Rapata does not do that well against right-handed hitters. You've got Kipnis on deck. David Cohn always says, just because first base is not open, you do have a base open. And they elect to pitch to him, and Cabrera picks up a game-tying single. So Cabrera with an RBI single, the game is tied at 2.
He's one of the guys, Cabrera, we've talked about. Good hitter, switch hitter, can hit from both sides of the plate. It's a ball away and just hooks it into left field.
Popped up and out of play. You know, it's a hard thing for people to wrap their mind around, but David Cohn, our colleague, really explains it well. He said, if you want to pitch around a guy, why would you pitch around him if there's runners on second and third and 2 outs, but you wouldn't pitch around him if there's runners on first and third? There's still a base open. Both ways, the result is bases loaded. You're facing lefty-lefty. Popped up. Shallow left center. Nix is back. He can't make the play. Scoring is Brantley. Cabrera moves to third. It's a bloop single for Kipnis, and it's 3-2 Indians.
I'll tell you what, this is a bright sunny day, and you see Derek Jeter probably knows that. I think Nix had a lot of tough problem with the sun right here. Tough play. That's one of Derek Jeter's best plays, is going back on that ball. But in the daytime sunshine, left field can be tough. Looking straight up there. Looks like he just jabs at it at the end. Might have lost it at the beginning.
All right, so that's going to do it for Rapata. And now the Yankees will call on Freddie Garcia against Lopez, first and third. chance to catch this game in every Yes Network game another time around. If you missed any of the big hits and great plays, just watch the encore later every night or again the next morning at 9. So Clay Rapata gets a ground ball at first, an RBI single by Cabrera, then an RBI bloop single by Kipnis, and a Yankee 2-1 lead is now turned into a 3-2 deficit as Joe Girardi goes to Freddie Garcia. Garcia against Jose Lopez. There's a strike.
She's talking to Meredith back there. I mean, the topics today from you get to the ballpark, injuries now. You were kind of away from him. Now you got CC Sabathia before the game. Obviously, there'll be a lot of talk about Andy Pettitte after the game.
Runner goes from first, swung on and missed. Nobody covers, so Kipnis steals second. That's his 18th stolen base at 19 attempts. Yankees were not going to throw through because Cabrera probably would have broken. And Kipnis got a pretty good jump. No one was covering. They didn't want to open up a hole in the infield.
You get 2 outs. You just trust that your pitcher can get this big out here.
Did he go? No, said Tom Hyan. Close.
50-50 right there.
Yep. Hard to argue either way.
Every once in a while you just see a pitch. It's just, wow, I'm lucky to get that one back with that guy's running around the bases. That ball was right over the middle of the plate, up in the zone. Not a lot on it. Just hangs right there.
Fastball upstairs.
See Russell Martin wanting that pitch up and in, trying to set up this either split finger or slider away.
The 2-2. Grounded foul.
Slider away, fouled off. We were saying last night, Michael, that Freddie Garcia wanted to pitch back into big situations, and this is a big situation. This is a big out here. 2 men in scoring position, 2 outs.
The 2-2. Grounded foul.
Lopez has had a couple good pitches to hit in this at bat. If you're Freddie Garcia, you just got to believe that you've got that one good knockout pitch to put him away here. Lopez hit a 3-run home run last night off the bench, so does have power.
Another 2-2. He got him. Big strikeout for Garcia. But a costly inning for the Yankees. They serve up 2 runs. They give up the lead. They strand 2. And Andy Pettitte had a lead with an injury. Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. So about 25 minutes on the bench for Jimenez as he comes out and faces Jason Nix, deals high 1-0. But he does have a 3-2 lead on the Kia scoreboard. And of course, as soon as we get word on Andy Pettit's condition, we will get it to you. Hopefully we'll get it before we get off the air with the game portion. But if not, then Bob and Jack and Meredith will have the latest information on our post-game show. The success of a sports team is so fragile from day to day, and it all comes down to injuries. And the Yankees have been rolling the entire month of June. Then you come to the ballpark today and you find out CC Sabathia is going on the DL, and then Andy Pettitte gets knocked out of a game. And you know, if you're the Yankees, you hold your breath.
Yeah, it is so weird. It's almost like when teams get going well, they all hit, and you just expect things to happen, and you don't think about injuries. Then it's like you have one injury, and then they start happening. And again, it's just, it can really, really change what you see on the field every day by the team. You know, the players are able to go out there healthy.
Here's Curtis Granderson. Breaking ball strike. Jimenez has a lot of weapons he can throw up there. Breaking ball, fastball, splitter.
I tell you what, he's had some innings where he can control his fastball, and those have been his easy innings. He's had a pretty good slider control-wise all day, and his strikeout pitch has been good when he gets to 2 strikes. So he's had a good game. If he could locate that fastball all game, it'd be very tough.
Just missed that one. And the out is recorded by Cunningham.
It's another thing. You've seen a lot of fly balls by the Yankees to the warning track and just miss fly balls, and that's a mark of a good pitcher. They're just a little bit better than the average fastball, than the average curveball, and you see a lot of players just missing.
7 big league season for Jimenez. 2010 season, the first half, he was just lights out. They were talking about a 30-win year, but since that time, he's kind of dropped off.
He had a weird thing at the beginning of the year, didn't he? He hit one of his ex-teammates the first time they faced him or something. Hit Tulowitzki or something.
Yeah.
He got suspended.
That was in spring training.
Yeah. I guess that shows you didn't get along with your old teammate, huh?
Yeah, they weren't exchanging Christmas cards.
Michael, if we ever play against each other, you going to drill me? Because I'm coming after
First pitch.
Yeah.
That one is looped into left field. Shelley Duncan coming on. He fights the sun to make the play. They go down 1-2-3. We're going to go to the 6th inning. Indians lead the Yankees 3-2 right here on Yes. pitch by pitch, brought to you by Mazda.
Well, Freddie Garcia got ahead early on a couple good sliders. Then late in the count, he missed with a couple pitches. Lopez really had a chance to do it, but then he kept his best slider for a strikeout. Big pitch, big time of the game.
Santana, Duncan, and Kochman here in the 6th. Count 0-1. Well, Freddie Garcia has waited patiently since being demoted to the bullpen. Kept his mouth shut. Did his work. Called on infrequently. And slowly built back his arm strength where he's throwing 90 miles an hour with the fastball. There's an 89 mile an hour fastball that's popped up.
See Nix again fighting that sun. Same angle at this new ballpark as the old ballpark, and this time of the day, on sunny days, left field, shortstop, toughest part of the field. Boy, it's such a relief when you feel that thing hit your glove, Michael. You're fighting that sun.
There's Shelly Duncan. Had an RBI double to right center. That was in the 2nd inning. Popped up to 2nd in the 4th.
We mentioned it yesterday that, Freddie Garcia's velocity on his fastball has affected everything. His split finger's a little bit better. Slider's a little bit better. He is making some mistakes once in a while, but he's getting away with them now because he has a little bit better stuff than he did earlier in the year.
Now, people always ask, well, why would the fastball affect the other pitches? Because if he's throwing a better fastball, that means his arm speed is faster. And if your arm speed's faster, the other pitches are going to be better. And now he is ascended to an important role for the Yankees, because even though he's relieving here and might not get the start on Friday, the second time around, he will likely get that start. It's actually a good lesson in all walks of life. Don't burn your bridges, because you might have to recross that bridge.
Isn't it funny though that like the last 5 years you've got guys that have been demoted, sent down in different roles, and you said that have kept their mouths shut. You remember back in like the early to mid 90s, there were guys complaining that guys weren't playing, and it's kind of a different atmosphere here. People are here understanding what it's all about just you're supposed to win. And if you're part of the starting lineup, you're part of the starting lineup. If you're not, you work hard, you sit on the bench, and you wait for your opportunities.
Popped up, shallow left. Nix with another try, and he makes the play.
Now, because of the angle of that and where he's running towards the bleachers, much easier play. You see, he didn't fight that sun as much, and it all has to do with the angle that you're going at the baseball. Alex Rodriguez, very glad to watch Nix catch that ball. We've talked about Jeter many times, looking over at Alex, laughing. Not one of his favorite parts of the game, catching fly balls.
Here's Kochman.
And I was walking through the Cleveland clubhouse yesterday, and I talked about a little bit with the big C, the block letter C on their helmet this year.
High fly ball down the right field line. Foul ball.
How, a lot of organizations, they change. They've gone from the Chief Wahoo or whatever it was to the block C, and the New York Yankees, they don't have to change. People still love that insignia. What is it, Michael? What do you call it?
Interlocking NY.
The interlocking NY. And, it's amazing how other teams have changed year after year, where the Yankees just stick with what works. Other than the Yankees, Michael, what's your favorite uniform?
I like the Dodgers a lot.
Yeah, they're
bright
traditional.
White. Yeah, and that's pretty much what they wore in Brooklyn, except it was a B and not an LA. Backswing, did he go? Yes, he did. That's an impressive inning for Freddie Garcia as he retires the Indians in order 1, 2, 3. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th and the heart of the Yankee order. A-Rod, Cano, and Teixeira.
Toyota text poll. Once again, the question: which of these statements best reflects your thoughts on instant replay? And here's how you voted. Get the call right, 38%. Bad calls part of the
Wow.
game, 51%. See, they want the fights out there, Michael.
It's amazing. It really is amazing.
But you know what? You wonder if you could almost change it from everydays to playoff and World Series.
You know what's funny, though? The people that voted, and, you know, they have every right to feel that way, 51%, so that's overwhelming victory. If the team they were rooting for got jobbed on a call that could have been overturned, that won or lost the World Series, how would they feel?
Well, you talk about it forever, right?
Yeah. And not in glowing terms. That one's punched out to right field. It is a base hit. Alex Rodriguez will round first. He's going to go to second. And Chu, who replaces Cunningham, flips the ball into second. A double for A-Rod.
Again, last night we talked about Masterson, who was a hard thrower. It would give Alex Rodriguez trouble because he couldn't get his arms extended. This ball runs in, but he punches it the other way. Doesn't jam himself trying to pull it. Just flares it out to right field. Quick double.
So Chu takes over for Cunningham as Manny Acton trying to tighten up his defense.
And so Alex Rodriguez, as soon as he hit that ball, getting out of the box quick, knowing Chu's in right field, probably the best arm in right field in the American League.
And Cunningham takes over for Shelley Duncan in left. Yankees want to score here. If you want to follow the stats, the Indians are 13-0 on the road when they lead after 6 innings, and that's because of their strong back end of the bullpen.
Michael, we were talking early in the game coming into the broadcast, Jimenez, how he uses so many pitches. Today he's been pretty good. 93 pitches, made it into the 6th inning. A lot of times he's well over 100 when he gets to the 5th.
Tony Sipp, saw him yesterday. He's up in the pen. So the tying run is on second base for the Yankees, and Cano at the plate. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-2 Indians lead. Count 0-2.
And you know, you see the movement on that ball, and Robbie Cano's up there trying to pull the ball to move Alex Rodriguez. And then when you're trying to pull the ball as a left-handed hitter, you try to commit real early to get the bat head out front. Smart pitch right there. Michael, you talked about how important it is to try to get the lead on the Cleveland Indians before you get to that 7th, 8th, 9th inning, because they are so good from then on. Big inning for the Yankees, try to tie this game up. Your attention right there, Michael. Again, I mean, as a left-handed hitter, your job with Alex leading off with a double, that ball up and in, is the first 2 at pitch. You know, rule of thumb, first 2 pitches take a chance to move him over. Now, is, you know, you're going to just try to get a base hit, but still in the back of your mind, you know, if you get a pitch, you want to try to pull it.
Driven deep to left field. Cunningham back on the track at the wall. See ya! Cano goes the other way. A 2-run home run, and the Yankees lead 4-3.
I'll tell you what, Michael. Did you see where that ball ended up? Robinson Cano, unbelievable swing right here. Ball running away, drives the ball the other way because he's got 2 strikes on him, and absolutely hit a rocket that you'll see some of the right-handers can't reach this part of the ballpark.
Did you think that was going to travel that far?
You know what? I thought it had a chance to get over his head, but that ball hit the back wall.
Wow. What a shot.
7 home runs in the last 10 games. Robbie Cano is just, I mean, he's living up to what he's capable of doing right here. See a 2-seam fastball. He turns it over. It's a slider, and it just kind of hangs outside. Robbie gets complete extension on it. That's why the ball carries so much. Wow, what a swing. Because you could, his front side was actually starting to open up to pull the ball, and he just stayed with that ball outside and just hit a rocket to left field.
Take a look at the Coors Light cold hard
glass. It just looks like the front hip is coming out, but he was still able to keep his hands back. It's just trying.
Fly ball, left field. Cunningham puts it away. It was kind of neat to me, Paul, and correct me if I'm wrong, that I can hear the wonder in your voice when you look at Cano. He's like a step above other people.
I just love to watch him hit. And that's why it's frustrating even as a manager or another player when he goes through tough times, because there's not a pitch at the plate that he can't handle. He can get to the ball inside. He's extremely quick. It can also, you see what he can do to a good pitch on the outside corner, drive it out of the ballpark. So there's really no sure way to get him out.
Nice play by Kipnis, retiring Ibanez in right field for the second out. Who's the closest you could remember that hit like that?
I mean, growing up and just getting into the league, I think George Brett kind of had that swing where, you know, he was probably a little bit more of a pull hitter than Robbie. You know, Wade Boggs used the field a lot, but Robbie has more power than Wade Boggs. So, you know, it's just, he's kind of a hitter of many, many great hitters. And it's just, it's amazing what he does.
Chavez works the count 2-0 for Robbie his 18th home run. He scored 2 runs today. He now has 41 runs batted in.
You talk about the head game, and it just absolutely shocked me when I saw his numbers with runners in scoring position. But it can change that quick. You know, in this series, he's done a good job. He's had a few at-bats with runners in scoring position, one being a double in the opening game, a home run there.
Scott Radinsky, the pitching coach, will go out and talk with Jimenez. So Jimenez has had 2 leads. He's given them both away. Had a 1-0 lead, then he had a 3-2 lead, and the Yankees came back and answered each time.
You know, the Yankee lineup right now is extremely tough to pitch to. I mean, you've got Guy A-Rod went deep last night. Cano's been on a tear. Swisher's been on a tear. Some of the guys coming off the bench have hit home runs. I mean, they're so capable of throwing up quick runs because of the home runs. See how much fun you have when you can just hit balls when you want, Michael?
I think if you're really good at anything, you're probably that happy. He's really good. Here's Russell Martin. He's 0 for 2. Since Russell hit the walk-off home run that beat the Mets, he's 4 for his last 37, so he's really struggled. And again, he is on the interstate, the one we're all familiar with, I-95. And he had gotten over 200. You figured that he wouldn't look back, but he has struggled this year offensively. The 0-2. One hopper to short. They'll go the short way, and that will do it. But the Yankees do take the lead. First, a double by Rodriguez. Then Robinson Cano goes the other way. It is his 18th home run of the year and the 7th home run in his last 10 games. Don Dealer, and the background is summary as we show you the Yankees lead 4-3, 4-4-1, leading 3-6-0. Pettit left the game in the 5th inning, hit on a comebacker on the ankle by Casey Kochman. Cano's 2 for 3 with a 2-run home run to give the Yankees a 4-3 lead. Jimenez 6 innings, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. Freddie Garcia still in there. Lou Marson leads off. Count 1-0. Cadillac scoreboard, 4-3 Yanks. Third strike. Yankees probably just want to get these 3 outs out of Garcia. Maybe if a lefty comes up that they have to get out, they'll bring in Logan. But the 8th and the 9th, it could be the formula of Robertson and then Soriano. So they're not looking for that much length out of Garcia. If he gets through this inning, it would be 2 1/3 innings. Cunningham's on deck. Laced into right field, but right there is Swisher for the first out. And they might bring in Boone Logan to get Brantley. And they'll let Garcia just get Cunningham. And with a 1-run lead, they have to treat every batter with the utmost attention. And there is Brantley. So different than when he started the season. He was struggling to get the fastball at 86, and that was an easy 89. He hits 90 at times. Popped up. Nix is there. We're getting pop-up practice today. 2 outs.
Freddie Garcia, if you look back, when he came in, he got a big out. He's done nothing but get out since. Really, really good outing for him to come in out of the bullpen unexpectedly.
So Joe looks like he's going to stay with Garcia against Brantley. And now Logan just watching out there. Brantley has 1 home run.
Looking on deck, you got Cabrera, who's a .313 left-handed hitter and a .280 right-handed hitter. So probably Garcia's last hitter either way.
Two-1 to Brantley, and that one's chopped to Chavez. He'll step on the bag, and a 1-2-3 inning for Freddie Garcia, who's given the Yankees 7 up and 7 down since he came on in the 5th. Good job by him. Middle of the 7th inning, time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Yankees lead 4-3, but we will stay where we are to honor America in the Bronx.
Offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Are holding on to a 4-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed, internet twice as fast as anything in America has ever seen. Dylan Axelrod will go for the White Sox, 0-1, 4.85, and Ivan Nova, 9-2, 4.25. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. with the BP show, and 6:30 is the pregame. 7:07 on Yes with the first pitch. You're going to do some homework on Dylan Axelrod.
I was just going to say, I'm going to pick up the rock and roll manual. Isn't that like a rock name? Dylan Axelrod?
I like it. Like a heavy metal band.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of that, we got a big concert coming up here at Yankee Stadium next week. Huh?
Is it Pink Floyd?
Yeah, Roger Waters.
And Roger Waters. Nice. Joe Smith. That doesn't sound like a rock band.
No. I bet there's more Joe Smiths in the phone book than any other.
You might be right. You might be right. See the numbers on Joe? So Ubaldo Jimenez went 6. Freddie Garcia's pitched very well for the Yankees in relief. And that one is chopped over the mound. Fielded there by Cabrera. Throws to first, and they just got Nix. Nice play by Asdrubal Cabrera.
I'll tell you, defensively, if you watch the top 10 defensive plays all year, you're going to see a lot of him. He bare hands balls. He's just a good defensive shortstop. That's not an easy play. I mean, this ball right here, that last hop off the dirt can go anywhere. Made it look pretty easy, didn't he, Mike?
Pitch to Granderson is a strike. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees lead 4-3. Been an interesting day here at the stadium. If you just joined us before the game, Yankees put CC Sabathia on the DL with an adductor strain, which is kind of a groin pull. And he'll miss 2 starts, Friday against the White Sox and then Wednesday against Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. They expect him back after the All-Star break. He could have pitched, but rather than turn it into an 8-game injury, they said, let's make sure he misses 2 and gets better. Then Andy Pettitte got the start for the Yankees and was pitching beautifully, holding on to a 2-1 lead. And then Casey Kochman with a comebacker hit Andy on the ankle. He tried to stay in there through a first pitch strike to Lou Morrison, but didn't look good doing it. See David Robertson warming up, and the Yankees had to start mixing and matching out of the bullpen. We still don't have word on Andy's injury. Maybe it's just a bruise, and that's what you're hoping for. And as Paul said earlier, they ice it down and get it ready for his next start. And one other thing to consider, Freddie Garcia was going to fill in for CC on Friday. I don't think that on a Wednesday, Paul, you could pitch 2 1/3 and say that's a throw day, so I don't think he comes back on Friday.
No, I mean, maybe for an inning, but he wouldn't start. There's no doubt about it. I'm just thinking about the Chicago White Sox right now, and players, you start to look at the paper and you start, figuring out who you're going to face in the next series, and all of a sudden they're going to read today that they don't get CC Sabathia on Friday night. If a couple of hitters that would be glad about that. And they've got some hit. Paul Konerko leading the league in hitting, right?
And Adam Dunn will be thrilled.
Yeah, Adam Dunn, yeah, he'll love this place. Kevin Youkilis now with the White Sox. Should be a good series.
Swing and a miss. Smith wins that battle with Granderson. 2 outs.
Slider back door, just caught the outside corner.
Nick Swisher 0 for 3, batting in the number 2 hole today. Derek Jeter just getting the day off. Day game after night game. Day after a birthday.
Day after a birthday. It's quite a party then, right? I mentioned it yesterday. During this long span, you just had the feeling that Jeet was going to get a day off. And, Joe has these things mapped out days ahead. It's not like he just went home last night and said, hey, I'm going to give Jeet a day off. He looked tired tonight. I mean, he schedules these things to try to keep everybody fresh.
And I've always been told that if you have a day off, you like to know before you leave the ballpark. Because you prepare differently in your mind.
Yeah, you relax. You relax the night before. You can get extra work in if you want, or if you can just flat out take it off. It's a relaxed mode of Derek Jeter over on the bench. can tell G's getting a little older, though. Remember in the old days when he was young, he'd get a day off, he'd be walking up and down the benches causing trouble. Now he kind of just chills over there and watches the game.
Joe Torre used to say he used to hate giving him a day off. He said it would annoy him. But he's nowhere near Girardi.
Ooh.
Right in on the hands. So Joe's got some buffer between he and Jeter.
Stevie's there in the middle. See Stevie there, Donahue in the middle in case he needs to jump in between.
And Tony Pena and Jason Nix.
Smith tries to run that ball just run it out around the outside corner and just catch it on to freeze that left-handed hitter. Did to Granderson and just missed right there to Swisher.
Wow, that's an impressive inning for Joe Smith. Ground ball and a strikeout of Granderson, a strikeout of Swisher. We go to the 8th. Cabrera, Kipnis, and Lopez. Yankees holding on 4-3. The game. Text your vote to 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. And today's candidates are number 1, Robinson Cano, number 2, Eric Chavez, number 3, Jason Kipnis, number 4, Shelley Duncan. I don't like those choices.
Why?
Where's Freddie Garcia?
Yeah, but
Shelley Duncan.
If the game stops the way it is, Robbie Cano went deep to win the game.
Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Wow. There's got to be some write-ins there.
Yeah.
Mazda or Hyundai scoreboard 4-3. It's the Mazda K by K. It's the Hyundai scoreboard 4-3. And it's David Robertson taking over for Freddie Garcia.
Freddie Garcia, he did a good job. Robinson Cano hit a ball off the State Farm sign out there. Huh?
Hey, you had me at a low.
I hope not.
Here's Cabrera.
You know what happened last night? Talking about we got out of here so quick last night. I got home, turned on the TV. There's your beautiful wife doing the news.
Yeah.
It's nice to get a home early, right?
It is. Well, your driver must have been going pretty fast.
You know what? Sometimes in New York, when you got to drive, you just close your eyes and hope you get there.
You got there. And you went right to Pix 11 to see Jody. That's nice. Grounded to first. Oh, nice play there by Chavez. And he'll step on the bag for the first out. They had him play close to the line, and that paid off.
no doubles. You play late in the game with a 1-run lead. Chavez staying right down on it. I tell you what, first base has been a tough position this series.
He's had some plays over there. Mark Teixeira, the DH today.
Probably thinking in the back of his head when he knocked that ball down, boy, I'm glad I'm at first today, because that's the ball at third base. You know, you lose the out. At first base, you knock it down, you still got plenty of time.
Kipnis takes a strike. He does not like that call. He's going to take a little stroll.
You know, the other day I was looking at that billboard right there, the Johnny Walker thing. We were talking about, you know, we need Johnny Walker because he really can run around the stadium quick on the scoreboards.
Right.
That night I left here, this little kid walked out and he said, "I'm faster than Johnny Walker." On the way out to the car, so I told him, well, I appreciate that. I'm glad to know that. If that umpire would move,
yeah, you see little Johnny there.
There, you just get a glimpse of him. There he is. That boy's got wheels on the scoreboard. He can get around this stadium.
2-2. Strike three. Kipnis down looking.
And boy, it's good to see Robertson back throwing the ball well. And he misses with location here, but he's got a good enough fastball. He just froze Kipnis.
Here's Jose Lopez. Breaking ball. If they could change one thing about Robertson, and there's not much they would change because he's so good, they'd like him to work some effortless innings where he doesn't throw 25 pitches, so it's easier to have him back to back and maybe even 3 days in a row. Count 1-1. And that was one of the reasons why when he got hurt and Soriano took over, they said, let's keep it this way with Soriano closing, because if you're going to throw 35 pitches closing in ninth inning, you might be able to bounce back the next day. So the count now 1-2.
You know, and I was going to ask you that. Obviously, when he went down, he was the closer. He was filling in for Mariano, but Soriano's done an unbelievable job. Now, say if Soriano was kind of 50-50, would Robertson have come back as the closer, or you think he's better off in the eighth inning?
You mean if Soriano struggled a little?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might have come back as a closer. But he hasn't struggled at all. Been great. Been lights out. And Robertson lights out in that inning as he strikes out Lopez. So the Yankee bullpen again, starting with Garcia, and now Robertson has done the job. We're going to the bottom of the eighth. A-Rod, Cano, and Teixeira. Andy Pettit suffered a fractured ankle, and he is going to be out, I think I heard correctly, a minimum of 6 weeks. A minimum of 6 weeks. So what a day for the Yankee pitching staff, which had been such a strength. CC goes on the DL, which is a minor thing compared to this. And this is how it happened, everybody, if you just joined us.
And I didn't even want to mention it, but when I talked about it, it's very similar to a hitter. As long as it's not fractured, things are going to be fine. But must have just hit him right on the spot. Tough, tough break for Andy Pettit and the Yankees.
Wow. And that was the last pitch he'll throw for a while. The Yankees got him out of there. He threw a strike. And that's pretty bad news.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden some of these pitchers really start pitching better when Andy Pettit shows around. He is such a mentor to guys on the bench, in the clubhouse. And to me, when he came back, is really when a lot of these guys started turning the corner and becoming better pitchers.
Vinny Pastano is the new pitcher. Hyundai scoreboard 4-3 Yanks. This guy can deal. See his numbers: 35 strikeouts in 29 innings. Paul, we mentioned it before, how quickly things can change.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, two of your top pitchers go down, but you know, you still feel confidence you can go out and win. It's over the long haul where these things will start to take effect, because Joe Girardi's going to have to make some decisions. Obviously, Freddie Garcia is going to be back in the rotation somewhere with two of them going down.
Well, you would think now that Freddie Garcia would take Andy Pettit's next start, and on Friday they were going to call up Adam Warren. But now they might also call up David Phelps. So who's going to fill in that second role in the rotation? Because now they have to fill two starters. So a lot of decisions for the Yankees. Again, they said before the game it was Adam Warren that was coming out to replace CC on the roster. Now somebody has to replace Andy on the roster and also replace Andy in the rotation. Soft ground ball to second off the bat of A-Rod. Kipnis for the first out. And Joe Girardi will be the first guy to tell you nobody's going to feel sorry for the Yankees, because they've suffered some doozy injuries already. When he was asked about CC before the game, how can you deal with this, he said, you know what, we lost the greatest closer in the history of baseball. He said, and you deal with it. And that's what all managers say. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. And especially for the Yankees, because you want to see the Yankees come back to the pack a little bit. Nobody's rooting for ill will, but you know, when the Red Sox or Tampa Bay read about these injuries and these DL stints, I don't think we're going to be crying in their soup.
No, and it's almost an inspiration that, hey, we got a chance now. These guys aren't what they used to be. And you talk about a funny hop. Watch this ball come off the dirt. He's kind of cued off. I think probably hit it and had a weird spin on it.
So 3 hits for Cano.
Just the way this ball hops. You can see the spin on it. Actually, he hops backwards. He bare hands it.
What hand-eye coordination.
Just not enough time. Probably getting down the line pretty good.
So Andy misses the beginning of the season, coming back from retirement. Now he's going to miss a lot of the middle of the season. And if you want to look at it on the bright side, Paul, you're going to have a very fresh Andy Pettit down the stretch.
Yeah, the only problem is that's his landing ankle, so it's not going to be like he can really keep his arm in shape. You know, if you've got a cast or a boot on, it's not like you can go out and long toss and throw to keep your arm in shape. So you have to wait for the ankle to heal, and then you've got to get your arm back in shape.
And it'll be like spring training all over again. So it's a slow process. Broken bat. Teixeira. They flip to second to get the force. for the second out. This is what Warren has done at AAA in 15 starts, 5-5. He's given up 99 hits in 86 in the third innings. He's walked 27, so that's not bad. Struck out 59, a 3.86 ERA. We've seen Phelps up here. We've seen DJ Mitchell. Adam Warren pitched well in spring training. So now we'll get our first look at him this year. And that's why you have the minor leagues, and that's why you have pitching depth in the minor leagues. Now that depth has to step up. That force out is scored 4-5. It was Lopez who took the throw. And Ibanez takes the strike.
Wow, that's a sharp breaking ball. You see why Pestano has such success coming in late in the game. Sharp breaking ball right there.
And Ibanez loops one into left field. That's going to find grass for a base hit. Ibanez first hit of the afternoon, moving to Teixeira to second.
Eric Chavez, we talked about the problems he's had with runners in scoring position. See Ibanez get jammed, but looping it just deep enough to get that hit. Came through with a big double earlier in the game. Another opportunity here with men in scoring position. Well, that's a beautiful thing if you're hitting, Michael. Broken bat, bad swing, everything, but all of a sudden it just falls in.
Dwayne Wise will pinch run for Ibanez and take over in left field.
Two talked about that big double he hit early in the game. He's gone to back-to-back fastballs, thrown the ball by him. That ball is a little out of the zone, looks like. The trouble with some of these guys out of the bullpen, you just don't have a big history against them. You don't know how they're going to go against you, how they're going to pitch you. You know he's got a good slider. He hasn't thrown it in this count yet. To another fastball. Close pitch.
Soriano is ready. He'll pitch the ninth inning for the Yankees as they'll try to close this out. They lead 4-3, but they'd like some more. With Chavez at the plate, he had a big 2-run double in the fourth inning. Gave the Yankees a 2-1 lead. And the 1-2. 2-2. Yankees scored 2 in the fourth on the two-run double by Chavez, and then 2 in the sixth on the 2-run home run by Robbie Cano. A deep shot to left field. And that's their scoring. Trying for the sweep, trying for their 5th win in a row. Ground ball, right side, through for a base hit. Teixeira rounds third. He's coming home. Here's the throw from Chu. Teixeira's in there. Yankees lead 5-3. RBI single for Chavez, his 3rd ribby of the day.
And Eric Chavez having a great day, especially with big hits with runners in scoring position. Chu throws well. He got another fastball. He got to this one. Again, good throw. Teixeira with a great break with 2 outs. Clearly safe.
Marson was on the wrong side of the plate getting that throw. Couldn't block the plate that way, and Teixeira saw the hole and slid across the plate for the 5th run. So some breathing room. Before his double in the 4th, Chavez was 1 for his last 22 with runners in scoring position.
So here's a runner from second base with 2 outs. As soon as that ball is hit, you're gone. It gives you that extra step. No question, anything close, Robbie Thompson's going to send you with 2 outs.
Martin swings and misses, 1-1.
Eric Chavez doing a good job. A couple fastballs threw right by him early in the count, and he caught up to one. Big run right there. What a difference as a closer, though. You come in with that 2-run lead instead of a 1-run lead. Big hit.
Count 2-2.
Just kind of a credit to the way Yankees are scoring runs now. I mean, they're scoring them with home runs. Now they're getting some big hits. And you faced the Indians' best today. You faced Jimenez, who had good stuff, and you also faced 2 of their better bullpen guys. And you've scored runs pretty much all day against them, which is a really good sign from the New York club.
So the runners will go on 3-2 and 2 outs here on the bottom of the 8th. Yankees lead 5-3. There they go. And Russell Martin swings and misses, and that will do it. But the Yankees get an insurance run. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 left. Soriano will come on, and he's going to face Santana, Chu, and Kochman. Brought to you in part by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. By J&R Music and Computer World. And by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. Well, we go to the 9th inning as the Yankees try to nail down this 4-3 lead over the Indians, and it would complete a 3-game sweep, and it would be a ray of sunshine in a day of clouds. CC Sabathia went on the DL before the game with an adductor pull, and he's expected to miss 2 starts, but of more significance, and you see the numbers on Soriano, picked up his 16th save yesterday throwing 2 pitches. Andy Pettit suffered a left ankle fracture. He is not going to need surgery. He's going to be placed on crutches and into a boot, and the anticipated healing time will be 6 weeks. Mark Teixeira takes over at first base for Chavez, and Dwayne Wise is in left field for Ibanez as the Yankees tighten up the D here in the 9th.
Talk about injuries. There's another one, Brett Gardner. Still waiting to see when he's going to be available to come back. Obviously, probably not till after the All-Star break.
Soriano is going for his 4th save in 5 games. Yankees lead 5-3. Santana. Well, hitting for Santana is Lonnie Chisenhall. That's a little odd. Santana's one of your best players. And he has struggled for sure, but wow. He was 0 for 3 today. He's 11 for his last 68, so they bring up Chisenhall.
These are the things sometimes as a manager you do to try to light a fire in somebody. And all of a sudden some people get comfortable, especially young players.
And Chisenhall comes through with a single to right field.
Pinch hit for him, maybe bench him a game, something like that sometimes can change. And as a manager, you got to try to push the right buttons at right times. Soriano trying to get that ball in, up, kind of a spinner, didn't break in. And the act, obviously, when you send up a pinch hitter and he comes through.
So here's Chu, his first at bat. He did not start. He took over in right field in the 7th. And there's a strike.
All of a sudden, with that leadoff single, that extra run looks so big. We talked about it as a closer coming in with a 2-run lead.
Change the way this inning plays out.
Yep.
A lot of things on that man's mind right now.
Not all good things either.
No. Certainly you don't want to paint doom and gloom, Paul, because if a team can absorb losses like this, it's a team that can hit and can hit home runs and maybe can win a lot of games 8-6 or 9-7. But those are arguably your number 1 and 2 starters in your rotation.
Yeah, and at this time of the year, you can get over injuries. You really can. I mean, especially CC's when you're looking at missing a few starts. Andy Pettit, I mean, that's a big injury right there because it's a broken, a fractured ankle. But you know, it's they've got a team that that knows how to win. They've got other players that have been on winning teams. So somehow you figure out how to win. Now, if you were going into the postseason right now, it'd be a much different scenario. This is the time of the year where you can just kind of tread water, keep your lead in the East, and get healthy.
2-2, missed outside. Crowd of 45,099 on a gorgeous Wednesday afternoon in New York City. Just a great, great day.
Got dinner plans, Michael? You got to have something.
I really don't have anything.
No?
Can I join you and Evelyn?
Absolutely.
All right. So Soriano working himself into a jam. First and second, nobody out. So the infield will gather around. They're going to talk about a couple of things. The old baseball adage, ball, you play to win on the road, you don't play to tie. But you have to tie before you can win. If you're ACTA, do you bunt here?
You know what? You're right. You go for the win, but you are struggling. But you also have Perez in the bullpen that you have not used yet. And you could probably throw him for 2 innings and think that maybe you have them beat in the bullpen. But, you know, you've got a left-handed hitter up here, Casey Kochman, who, in my mind, is a pretty good hitter. I think that you try to keep this thing going and you try to throw a big number up.
Kochman 2 for 2 lifetime against Soriano. Not bunting. Fouls it off.
That's the thing. I mean, if you're Manny Acta, all you can hope for is a guy gets a good pitch to hit, and that was it. I mean, there's a fastball right down the middle. You're putting guys in situations where, you know, if they come through, they're big hits, and it just, you know, looking back at this as a hitter, you can't want anything more than this. It's a fastball right down the middle of the plate.
Missed outside.
You see Kochman and why he's struggling. If you'll look at that take, if we could see a replay of that again, his hands are coming with his body. And you see your hand should stay back. Your hand should always stay back. And you see the hands coming forward. and it just causes everything to happen a little quick. Your front side can go a little bit, but you've got to keep your hands back.
Count 2-1. This team in the middle of a long road trip. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Astros. They lost the first 2 here, and then they go on for 4 in Baltimore. So they'd like to escape Yankee Stadium with a win.
Huge at bat right here for the Indians and Cosman.
And that's a big pitch. 2-2.
Ran back a little bit. Might not have hit the corner, but close enough to call a strike.
Served into left field, backing up his Wise. He'll make the play. Chisenhall tags, but he just draws the throw. And a good throw all the way to A-Rod. So big first out.
Michael, you talked about it. Why Kochman ended up being traded. He just does not have enough power the other way. I mean, this ball right here, good at bat, good swing, hit it hard. Just does not have the power like you saw last inning from Robbie Cano to drive that ball over the head or out of the ballpark.
That'll bring up Lou Morrison.
You see Soriano looking into his hat. A lot of pitchers have things written in there, kind of, trigger things that you want to think about in big situations where you don't, get going too fast and not, have your thoughts right. Pull it off your hat, look in there and remind yourself of a certain thing that you want to remember in your delivery.
In the old days, I used to have cabbage leaves in there.
Yeah.
To cool you off on a hot day.
Well, we tried that in the booth that one year.
Right.
It didn't work.
Yep.
It's still smoking up here.
Coming up after the final out, catch the WB Mason postgame as Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry wrap up today's matchup in the Bronx, plus updates from around baseball. And Meredith Marakovitz gets Joe Girardi and the team's reaction from the clubhouse. Big postgame with the injury to Andy. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. Swing and a miss by Marson.
That's a breaking ball, but that ball's up a little bit.
Base hit to left field. Chisenhall is at third. They're going to hold him up. And the bases are loaded as Wise flips the ball into A-Rod. Nothing easy about this day.
Ball grounded in the hole, and when you're playing no doubles, a lot of those balls find the hole. You get those third baseman, first baseman right on the line. Opens up those holes and the gaps in the infield.
And now here's Johnny Damon pinch hitting for Aaron Cunningham. He's been cheered all series, but now he's getting booed as he comes up in this big spot. A .219 hitter as a pinch hitter in his career.
Soriano's gone to a lot of breaking balls.
Hitless in 6 at-bats against Soriano, but a .381 hitter lifetime with the bases loaded. So a lot of numbers to consider, but now it's just Soriano against Damon. The lead is on the line. 1-1.
Again, another slider. It looks like Soriano has that real good pop on his fastball today. He's gone to a lot of breaking balls, and then, as a closer, sometimes you've got to find another pitch.
1-1. 1-2.
92 on a fastball there, but that had a little movement on it. This is the position you want to be in. 2 strikes.
just got a piece and fouled it back on the check.
And ran that fastball intentionally up and in. Show him that ball inside where he can either sink that ball away or try to throw that backdoor slider here. Wow, that's really slow motion. When you see the seams of the baseball and a fastball, that is the beauty of the Eskimo, Michael.
The 1-2. And that's going to make the seats over the Indian dugout. Along with Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball, a Wednesday matinee right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us. Yankees holding on to a 5-3 lead in the ninth inning. Their closer is on, but the bases are loaded. With one man out, pinch hitter Johnny Damon at the plate with a 1-2 count.
Again, you know, when the pitcher, this is one of those days where Soriano's struggling a little bit, and again, the catcher can feel the same thing. Russell Martin trying to figure out the perfect way about getting these last two big outs.
Just missed. Soriano wanted that call. So did the crowd. Legitimately outside.
And threw those inside pitches to set up that one shot with that backdoor slider and just missed.
He struck him out. A big strikeout for Soriano. Yankees 1 out away.
Again, he just backed up and went for that fastball and ran it away off the plate. You know, as a hitter, sometimes you see that two-seamer grip. As a hitter, sometimes you know if you just took a close pitch, you kind of get in that swing mode, and Johnny Damon kind of left the zone there.
Here's Brantley, bases loaded, 2 outs. It comes down to this. Dials it up a bit with the fastball, 93 miles an hour. Brantley struck out twice against Andy Pettit, reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 5th and grounded out to first in the 7th. Teixeira deep at first, fairly close to the line. They'll give up the base hit to tie the score. They don't want to give up the extra base hit to give it up completely. Chisenhall on third, Chu on second, Morrison on first. 2 men out, top of the 9th. Reaching back for something extra, 2-1.
It looks like Soriano is trying to set up his slider by using his fastball out of the zone. We've seen too many, you know, challenging fastballs since we've got men on base.
26 pitches so far for Soriano. 3-1, and the dangerous Asdrubal Cabrera is on deck. What do you throw here, Paul?
Well, yeah, again, back to David Cone, and we talked about it. You don't give in. I mean, you've got a 2-run lead. You just cannot give in and groove a fastball here. You got to try to make a good pitch. If you walk him in, you still got another opportunity to get out of this inning.
And he walks. That forces a run. And now how big was that run in the bottom of the 8th for the Yankees? So the Indians have close to within 1. And Larry Rothschild will come out and talk with Soriano.
He did go for it. He tried to throw another backdoor slider. Just does not have confidence in that fastball. Trying to locate it on the inside corner. See, this ball just hung out there, never got back to the plate.
Now you saw that Boone Logan is up in the Yankee pen. If Soriano does not get Cabrera, They will bring in Logan to face Kipnis. Giving him a little bit of a breather here as well. And a pep talk trip.
And this shows, you know, if you don't have, if Soriano isn't doing as good as well as he is, I mean, Cabrera's a better hitter left-handed than he is right-handed. But, you know, your faith is in your closer. You have to, you know, you have to give him the opportunity. He's done so well. But, you know, in a bullpen that doesn't have a true closer, you bring Boone Logan in right now to turn Cabrera around and let him hit right-handed.
Bases loaded. Tying run is 90 feet away. Yankees lead 5-4. And he's not connecting with the fastball. So the count 1-0. Good numbers with the bases loaded for Cabrera. Chu, Morrison, and Brantley third to first. Fly ball left field. This should do it. Wise is there. Wise makes the play. And the Yankees win 5-4. So they hold on and they win their 5th game in a row. They sweep the Cleveland Indians, and Soriano, without his best stuff, is able to hold it down and give the Yankees a 5-4 victory. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy Player of the Game. How about the last 18 games for the Yankees? They have won 15 of the last 18. A 10-game winning streak, a 3-game losing streak, and now a 5-game winning streak. So a costly victory for the Yankees because they lose Andy Pettitte. Before the game, they lost CC Sabathia, but a big home run by Robinson Cano gave them a lead that they never relinquished. We got an award to give out, then we get the wrap-up, then we get the post-game with Bob and Jack and Meredith. We'll be on it as well. Stay right where you are. Yankees hold on to win this one 5-4 right here on Yes.